as a healthcare professional, you essentially have a couple of choices in where you're going to have your office. In commercial real estate, there's offices, there's retail, storefront, somewhat shopping centers, there's industrial, and there's raw land. Well, obviously you can't be a dentist on just a piece of raw land. You need a building. And you're not going to be a chiropractor in a warehouse complex because it's not zoned appropriately. You're not going to have enough parking. You're not going to have any visibility. So as a healthcare professional, you're going to go into office space or you're going to go into retail space. And it's important to understand the distinctions and the dichotomies of these different kind of spaces. For example, a shopping center will clearly give you accessibility, visibility, a lot of parking, and allow you theoretically to grow your business quicker through that advertising. However, what you need to keep in mind in a retail space is that you only have one window. Retail real estate by definition is 3 walls with a window across the front. So if you want your office and your break room and your other rooms to have natural light, it's not going to happen because of the way the building is constructed. The second thing about retail is by far the most expensive type of real estate. So you're going to spend the most money in monthly rent being in that type of location. The third thing to keep in mind about retail is you need to be sensitive to the mix of tenancy in the shopping center. If you're in a Class A shopping center that has high-end tenants, then as a veterinarian or a chiropractor, it probably could be a good location. But if you're in a one-off shopping center that has pawn shops and beer and wine stores, and you're a pediatric dentist, you need to be very concerned about being in a location where maybe next door you've got guys standing on the sidewalk drinking bottles of cheap wine and playing Keno when you want your moms to be bringing kids into the space. So you need to be sensitive to the tenant mix if you go retail. The third component about retail is the landlords typically want you to invest all of your money in the infrastructure of the space. So if you're going to go into a 2,500 square foot space in the Northeast and your total construction costs are $250,000, that's pretty much all going to be on you, because the retail landlord mentality, which is more geared towards businesses that are offering goods rather than services, is the tenant has to invest in the total infrastructure. If you go into a professional office, in most markets, the landlords will contribute a significant amount of the build-out cost. Can be sometimes as much as half. So when you analyze the additional rent in a retail environment plus the additional tenant improvement contribution, by far, it's much more expensive to go retail. It's not good, it's not bad, but you need to analyze that in your business plan, and you have to be comfortable that you're going to be able to justify enough in gross revenues to justify retail. And we tell our clients to look at, do you really think you're going to spend a lot less money on advertising by having that retail visibility and accessibility? Because if you're not, and you're going to spend the same amount of advertising either way, you really have to ask your question, does it make sense to pay that much more? Retail rents can be double, even triple. We talked about accessibility and location, but zoning is a big component of this. Healthcare, specifically medical, dental, optometry, veterinarian, is not always allowed as a matter of right in a particular building. So when looking for a space and analyzing if you're going to go there, knowing the zoning is important. Why? Because one, it may not even be legal for a dentist to go into that space because of the zone or there may not be enough parking. But then the other thing, the nuance you need to be aware of is in some spaces you can't go there as a matter of right, but you can if you have a special exception. But that special exception through the zoning board takes a long period of time and costs a lot of money. So you have to make the business decision, does it make sense to get the special exception to go into that space?